All right, we're going to try this again. We are going to get this right. Hey everyone, we are just trying to work out some last minute technical issues going on before we start our show. So just bear with us for a few minutes. Happy Sunday. Hey Scott, what's up? What's up, my brother? We are just hang on for a second. Just trying to make sure that everybody can hear everybody tonight. Thank you so much for joining in. Hope all is well with you. All right, we're just running a test, so I'm really not talking, but I guess I could. Just waiting for a few more followers to come on. Hello, live vegansmart. Hello. I don't know if this is Claude. Hold on. Let me see. He's coming in from here. Okay, no. Yeah, let's see. I don't know if my guest is joining in from his personal page. All right, there we go.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Oh, perfect. All right.
We're just going to blame it on the internet. That's all. We're just going to blame it on the internet tonight.
We get it. We got it right.
What's up? How are you, sir?
Amazing out here in LA. You know,
hey.
Living the dream. You know how it is.
Living the dream where it never rains, right?
That's right. Never rains in Southern California.
Never rains in Southern California. Well, can you please send some? Well, we need some rain here, so I'm not going to complain. We missed a whole bunch of rain here in Houston, so I am not complaining about rain right about now.
Man, I thought that the hurricane was coming through. How did that
work out? So did
we.
We
hit
thought
Lake
the
Charles,
same.
Right?
It missed us, thank God. I mean, and I'm praying for everybody who was affected, you know, in Eastern Texas and Louisiana. I mean, I still know people without power, and, you know, definitely sending prayers and, you know, everything that way. Yeah, but I'm thankful that we dodged this bullet, so to speak.
No, I know you guys that's one of those things that water down there is real. You're on the 10, that could hit you at any moment. So,
well, you know. You were here. You lived in Houston, so you already know what the deal is.
You know, Houston, New Orleans, and back on the weekend, so I know what's real.
Well, all right. Well, I'm gonna start us off. So happy Sunday, everyone. Welcome to It's All Legal Sunday Sessions. I'm your host, Janine Hovell-Cox, and we have a great discussion this evening, and it's perfectly timed with the unfortunate sad news about Chadwick Boseman passing away from colon cancer at the age of 43. So prayers go out to him, my Howard family, and, you know, everyone. But this topic has actually been planned for weeks. And so I'm just going to introduce my guest for this evening. We have with us tonight Mr. Claude Tellis, who's a friend of mine. He is the little brother of one of my good friends from law school, Natalie Tellis. So I don't know if she's on, but hello, Nat. And Claude, I just want to welcome you. I'm just going to tell everybody a little bit about your background and why I asked you to come on tonight. So,
well, thank you for having me.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So I don't know, my viewers may or may not know that, you know, I have this platform to give information and talk about the law from a lawyer's perspective. My platform is also for the purpose of bringing to light social issues that affect the African American community, and to also promote entrepreneurship and you know, talk about entrepreneurship in the African American community, as well as with minorities and women. So yeah, so, you know, this is my way of trying to give back to my community, trying to make a change in my community, one of the ways, actually. And so I thought that, you know, I couldn't think of a better person to talk about the health disparities that we are facing as African Americans especially, that have been brought to light because of COVID, that have existed, for quite some time, and just maybe people aren't aware of it, people aren't talking about it. But Claude, you are the CEO, co-founder, and partner of Naturade.
That's right.
Right? And so you're
Yeah,
also the CEO of Live Smart Vegan.
that's
So
right.
you got your undergraduate degree from Duke University, went on to obtain your MBA from Wharton College,
That's
or
right.
Wharton School of Business. I'm sorry.
True. No,
All right.
that's all right.
I'm trying to remember all of this, and
No, that's amazing. You got it all down. Absolutely.
I
So
know. Well, trust me, I have some notes on my iPad, so I will be referring to those from time to time. And
as
so,
you
Claude,
should.
just welcome. Thank you so much for being here with us this evening.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm honored to be able to talk to your viewers about what I'm seeing in the country, because it's a watershed moment, and with the NBA players striking and systemic racism being discussed, we don't know if this door is going to be open for a long period of time. So we need to make sure that we get a number of our issues that are systemically affecting our community addressed. And so I'm really happy that you're talking about health today. I know you're a legal show, but there's a lot of overlap with the social justice that we are worried about relative to, people of color being shot by police and related topics.
Right.
But when you really look at it, a lot of us are actually dying based on the systemic health disparities. And so I'm
Exactly.
excited to explore this topic with you from whatever direction you'd like to talk about it.
And I appreciate it, because this is a very, very important topic. This is a very important social issue. It seems like we are getting basically bombarded, and I'm talking about we, the African American community, minorities, from all different directions. Not only are we dealing with disparities in health, with health issues, we're dealing with disparities with COVID, as far as the death rate is concerned. We're facing basically, ongoing racism from, police brutality. And we could just probably sit here and go on and on.
Right.
But I always, say that, again, this show, my platform, it brings together the law and real life, because they do collide. And whether people realize it or not, the law affects every aspect. And even though, I may not get into the law on every one of my episodes, I just want to bring to light social issues, and this just happens to be the topic for today.
Fantastic.
And before we get started, I just want to say this discussion is near and dear to me, because just going to the cancer issue, I've had many friends and family members who have passed away because of cancer. My roommate from Howard was diagnosed with stomach cancer when she was 48 years old and passed away. I have a friend also that was diagnosed with colon cancer a few years ago, and he's still doing okay, thank God. So, I want to talk about how our diet affects, underlying health issues that seem to affect African Americans more than they do so our white counterparts. So
Absolutely.
I'm going to let you take it away, because
let me say a few words, and then let's like hit it from different angles. So I'll start with the personal for me. I live in Los Angeles now, but grew up in Washington, D.C. And, my sister went to Howard, and so did my grandmother.
Yep.
My sister also went to Southern University Law School. So
that's where I
my
met
dad
her.
went to and my dad went to Southern Lab School. So I got a lot of love for the South, and for Louisiana, New Orleans, and obviously I lived in Houston myself. So
Right.
I know that area very well. And as a matter of fact, 10 days ago, I had an uncle pass away due to complications of diabetes after having his leg amputated about 8 years ago. And so he was my second uncle out of New Orleans to die of complications of diabetes. And it really, back when it first happened, it inspired me to look into business opportunities around changing that narrative. I recognized at the time that, there are 86 million people in America who have pre-diabetes, which was really interesting to me, because in the health and wellness space and industry, it's actually a $50 billion industry growing at 10%. And so, and there's a number of products, and many types of products, and many Me Too products. And I always wondered, how can you have such a big industry that's growing and still have 86 million people, according to the American Diabetes Association, that are pre-diabetic, meaning that they're going to be diabetic if they keep eating the way they're eating. And so,
right.
when you
And well,
really
let me
look,
just, I don't mean to interrupt, but I'm just going to be transparent here. I'm one of those people who have been diagnosed with pre-diabetes. It runs in my family. So
yeah,
let me just put my hand up and be transparent about that.
hey, and as you should, because it affects all of us. I mean, it's 1 in 4 Americans is way more likely to have the African Americans, and we've always believed that it was just a genetic state. And I'm not sure, and a lot of doctors will tell you that. And I think that what we're learning over and over is that it's a lot of the handed down eating traditions that we've got from our mom, and our mom got from her mom, and got from their mom or dad. And so it's just a part of like who we are and how we live. I mean, my dad's a physician, and on my mom's side of the family, I think 7 or 8 people are type 2 diabetic. So it's like, even people who have had the knowledge, our culture of eating is so strong, and our culture of work, playing sports when we're young and being amazing at that. But then when life starts to happen, you have kids, things like that, we tend to fall off. And then, our eating becomes so much more important than, our exercise. And so, I think one of the things I've learned being in LA, because the culture of people being in shape, is you can't out-exercise a bad diet. And so that's why I'm trying to really make sure that that message gets out there of like, how to eat. Here's our product. Here's what we're doing. We're one small player in a huge market, but making sure that our communities start to focus on it in a preventative, scenario, because once you go in and you have type 2 diabetes and that turns into kidney failure and that turns into heart failure, it's like you can't deal with it quickly enough. So what we want to do is make sure people have as much information as possible, and then start to self-educate, so they can test and learn on themselves as to what works for them, and make sure that we're really going to turn this thing around.
Absolutely. And I mean, I think that we can. I mean, my grandmother, actually, when I was a teenager, she was a school psychologist, and she used to work with kids that have behavioral issues. And then so she actually started doing research about, different foods that affect behavior. And she found that sugar was one of the, they say that sugar is the devil, but she found that sugar was one of the key factors that was causing behavioral issues.
Absolutely.
And so, once she started, doing research about that, I became interested. And ever since that time, I have always tried to make myself aware of things that affect our health.
I'm glad you do that. I mean, I'm glad you bring up sugar, because, I mean, like to say sugar is the devil. There are 2 or 3 Netflix documentaries I want to make sure your viewers hear about. But a couple of them really talk about sugar in a major way. And the one thing about sugar is that it's actually 6 times more addictive than cocaine. And so a lot of people don't know that. And it's actually in everything. So, you know that, okay, hey, I'm gonna do a cheat meal, I'm gonna birthday party or what have you, I'm gonna eat a piece of cake, or I'm gonna have some chocolate chip cookies. That's a cheat, and you're willing to live with that, and you can live with that under a healthy diet. But what you don't know is that there's sugar in ketchup, and there's sugar in spaghetti sauce, and there's sugar in all these there's sugar in orange juice at an epic level. So there's sugar in so many different things that if you don't know how to read a label of food and understand simple carbs and understand sugar, how much sugar is in certain products, even things that your mama told you to take, if you don't recognize there's been a change in what's actually in the products, then you could be consuming a ton of sugar, thinking you're trying to lose weight, think you're trying to do things right, and you're not seeing any results. So I think that we need to kind of get a base level of education and nutrition, and reading labels and knowing what's in food, basically. So
it's so important. Yeah. I mean, you could, like you said, you could think you're buying something low fat, but it's just like loaded with sugar and salt.
Exactly. So let me share a couple of these Netflix documentaries. So one is called one is called What the Health, and is actually a really interesting documentary that, you know, talks about the benefits of a plant-based diet, but more importantly, talks about how a lot of nonprofits like American Cancer Society or my friends over American Diabetes Society Association, other places had historically been trying to promote health and wellness, but didn't realize that a lot of the foods that they were promoting are actually, you know, when you really look at it, maybe actually bad for us, or
Right.
you know, that are causing some of the cancer, causing some of the diabetes, because of the lobby that's in Washington that has really, you know, pushed certain products to be in the food pyramid. And then, you know, we're getting this information starting at school children and going all the way through, thinking we're eating
Right.
healthy, but really not. And so I think What the Health is a big one. And then I'm excited to tell you guys that there's a video, there's a Netflix coming out called They're Trying to Kill Us, that has Badass Vegan, who's our spokesperson for our company, is actually going around and interviewing. He's interviewed a number of, you know, musicians like Maya, Waka Flocka, Neo, Jermaine Dupri, the Wu-Tang Clan, a lot of people who have eaten really clean. They may have even eaten plant-based for their whole life, and they have really understood that there's food deserts. There's you know, a systematic reason why there's a Popeye's fried chicken and on every corner in the hood.
On every corner, and right.
Exactly.
Lower income areas specifically.
Exactly. And so we've been targeted, and it's basically it's a system that's why it's happened over time, and there's no real person to point the finger at other than for us to recognize we have to start understanding what's in the food, and we have to understand how to get healthier food. You can get a lot of it from Amazon right to your door once you know what to purchase, and then we got to, our culture always makes it cool and fun, you know. So once we're gonna find a way to get people to eat healthier. So I think we just need to kind of learn what that is, share that, and really just get ourselves excited about making those kinds of changes.
Absolutely. And I mean, this is one of the reasons why I had you on. And, you know, the topic or the title of my show tonight was Get Smart, right? Think right, eat right, be all right. So a lot of this, you know, like you said, about what we eat, what's healthy, what's not, has been handed down to us from generation to generation. Right. It's psychological. So when you talk to somebody about eating healthy or eating, you know, raw vegetables or just, you know, trying to stay away from certain foods, it's a psychological thing for the most part.
Oh, it is. It is. I mean, you know what? So I'll tell you a little bit about my company, and I'll tell you a little bit about my journey and some of my experiences.
Please.
So the name of my company is Naturade, and we actually just got a big endorsement from Magic Johnson. We sell a plant-based meal replacement. A plant-based meal replacement that's called vegansmart. You can go on Amazon and buy it. And it's really a plant-based protein powder you can mix with blueberries, strawberries, you know, ice and water, and have a really good low calorie, low sugar meal, and kind of eat more meals a day that are less sugar. And so that's kind of like the product that we are kind of focusing on, but we also want people to know that there's other things to kind of consider, you know, as you know, go on this journey. And one of the things I've really learned is that I've been doing a lot of intermittent fasting personally, and learning how to have your body work for you to instead of having all this extra food coming through your system. If you fast daily, you'll be able to actually burn more sugar. You'll be able to use the fat storages, and that burns more fat off of you. So it's not only just what you eat, it's actually what time you eat, and how disciplined you are about your feeding time. I stay within 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. So I just wanted to get that out there to make sure people understood who I am, and also some of the things I want people to know about.
Absolutely. So I want you to tell us, you know, the backstory behind Naturade and vegansmart, about how you decided to go into the industry of trying to promote healthier eating amongst everyone.
It's a long story, but I'm gonna try to keep it short here and just tell you
We
that
got time.
I'll give you some fun points. Is that I actually, went to college at Duke University. I pledged Kappa Alpha Psi, and one of the guys that pledged me, was my dean, Kareem Cook. It turns out to be one of my best friends. And while we were at school, we were always talking about. He's from the Bronx, New York, but then his people were from Jacksonville, Florida. I grew up in D.C. area, but my people were from Baton Rouge and New Orleans.
Right.
And we both said, hey, you know what? There's insulin always everybody in our family takes insulin. Everybody knows at some point they're going to die of diabetes or something like that. Why don't we do something about it? And so we thought about it, but we ultimately both went off to grad school. He went to Duke for business school. I went to Wharton for my business school. And we both did different things. But ultimately, we both ended up in LA. And, like we like to joke, he always tells people he went to LA for a woman. Wasn't his woman, it was my woman. Because I got an ultimatum, I had to come to LA. Or get my ring sent back to me. So we both, that's how you close us.
Is that how you close the deal, Claude? Okay, I'm gonna have to keep that in mind.
That's how you get closed sometimes. So anyway, we both got in the car, came out to LA, and we noticed that there was a lot of like overweight kids in the schools. And so we decided, hey, why don't we start like a healthy vending machine company? And we actually did that. And we were the guys that ended up taking all the junk food machines out of the LAUSD school districts and putting in water and juice. And in our journey of doing that, we ended up going to the state treasurer of California and saying, hey, we want to change the law and make it illegal to, sell, junk food and sodas to kids, because we saw how overweight these kids were getting. And so when we did that, Coca-Cola came after us, tried to shut us down. Because they realized that, if you can get a kid drinking Coke, when they're like 12 or 13, that's a lifelong customer. And to give away vending machines for free, that's a great way to get them. So we ended up going head to head with Coke, who was trying to take us out. We almost went bankrupt, but we always tell the people we had like a Forrest Gump moment where, I don't know if you remember in Forrest Gump when they're on the shrimp boat and the storm comes and it knocks out all the boats, and then at the very end they come around and pick up all the shrimp. That's what ended up happening for us. Was the law got changed. The school district decided they wanted to bid it out, and one company had to put $10 million down. We didn't have the money, so we went to Coke and said, let's partner. And they said, no, we've been looking to knock you guys out of this for a while. And so then we went to Pepsi. Pepsi gave us $10 million. We bid on the contract, and we got every single middle school and public high school in LA serving healthy waters and juices back then, and we ended up taking all the contracts, right? And so that's amazing. That was company number one. And when we did that, we got invited by Governor Huckabee and President Clinton down to the Clinton Library in Arkansas to talk about how we had done that, child obesity, how we're ushering in change. And we got a lot of national recognition. And when we realized, hey, you know what? Why don't we go to our alma mater, Duke University, and pitch some trustees on helping us to buy a bigger company that we could grow and could be more legit. And so they backed us to go buy Naturade. And so Naturade's our company now. That was like one of the first plant-based meal replacement companies to be in Whole Foods back in the day in like the 50s. Had a lot of ups and downs, but we were able to buy it at a really good price. And repurpose it for taking healthy products and taking it to the communities that need it the most, which are, the urban communities and our people of color. And so in a $50 billion industry, we're one of only two Black-owned companies in the space. So we think it's really, really important. There's only two in our category, right? And so we find that it's really, really important for us to be successful. And we've really been supported by the community. And we just found out that we're going into Costco in January. We're going into Target next month. And we're going into it looks like we're going to be going into Whole Foods too. So we're really, really excited. And a lot
That's
of
good
people.
stuff. I am
Love.
so
And
excited for you guys.
the last thing I'll say just on our resume is that we're crushing it on Amazon. We're up about 200%. So any of your viewers today watching us, I'd encourage them to look us up on Amazon, and because I feel like Amazon is the first major piece in solving this food desert issue. You know,
Right.
where you know my mother-in-law lives on the south side of Chicago, and there are no grocery stores now that we burned them all down.
Well, and then I was just about to make that point. You know, I just want to just take a pause real here. I get protesting because I have been out protesting too, but burning down communities is not the solution. It's not going to bring about change.
I know it hurts us. I mean, it you know, they say protests are the voice of the unheard. I guess Martin Luther King said that, and that is true. It's caught a lot of people's attention, but it definitely is hurting our ability to access, you know, health products. So hopefully the protesters will skip over to grocery stores, because it's taking a lot to get grocery stores in our communities. But I think Amazon is now the answer. So I encourage people, as they learn more about eating healthy, that when they, you know, hopefully go pick up our product, but definitely go to Amazon, and with Amazon Fresh, you can get fresh fruits, fresh vegetables, different kinds of delivery systems of healthy products, and you can get that delivered right to your house.
So tell us more about the product, vegansmart. You know, because like I said, I want to go back to a point that you made, you know, just a little while ago in our discussion, that sometimes we get so consumed with life and, you know, work and families and everything, that we tend to put ourselves at the bottom of the totem pole as far as trying to take care of ourselves. And I know I have become a victim to that. You know, I'm a lawyer, so I'm over here trying to solve my clients' problems, everybody else's problems, trying to raise my kids, you know, and it's just like there's very little time for me. And now, you know, I'm trying to make it a priority. Everybody's talking about self-care, self-love. Well, if you're not around to take care of everybody else, then, you know, what's going to happen? We have got to start taking care of ourselves. So I just wanted to make that point.
I love it. I'll say a little bit about my product. I may even have it behind me. Let me see if I can just grab it for you real quick.
Yes, please do. So that our viewers will be very familiar with this, because I am actually going to start using this product, eating this product, because it is a food. I'm going to let you do that part.
Yeah, so I mean, well, the product that you're going to find on Amazon is this. It's called vegansmart. And it's an all-in-one plant-based protein shake. It's only 150 calories a serving, and what's in it is basically plants. So peas, quinoa, hemp, and basically it's got you know, kind of a vitamin mix of 22 vitamins and minerals. It's got fiber, 6 grams of fiber, and effectively what most people use it for is to replace a breakfast. So for example, if you're, you know, go to the donut shop every morning, or you go to, you eat a bagel, or you know, do something, or eat a breakfast sandwich from McDonald's. And when we first developed it, it was to replace that bad habit. Because when you look at like a breakfast sandwich at McDonald's, it's got about 80 grams of carbs in it.
Right.
You know, you look at a donut, it's nothing but sugar. Even a bagel is a lot of sugar. So what we want to do is like say, hey, people, let's replace that with something that's 150 calories, you know, that tastes good. You can put it in a NutriBullet, 2 scoops into a NutriBullet with some ice. Slice up 3 or 4 strawberries, handful of blueberries, a couple raspberries. Blend that up in a NutriBullet or whatever mixture you have, and drink that. And that's basically a $2 shake that you just got something really healthy. It's a full meal. It's gonna the fiber is gonna satisfy you, so you don't want to eat for a while, and so that's kind of really what our core product is. And so the game plan for us initially, although I'm learning some different things about how to lose weight and how to eat, was really based on the first time I lost some weight, which was like about eating more meals per day that were smaller calories, right? So if you can do that over a period of time, and instead of having a big lunch and a big, dinner if you can eat 5 meals. And so that becomes difficult when you're on the run. So if you can have
Exactly.
2 vegan smarts in there and maybe 2 real meals, then you can at least, your metabolism is faster and you're eating more smaller meals a day, right? So that's
Right.
our initial thesis on how people can lose some weight. Now I've just personally come across in the last 2 years intermittent fasting, because I saw my wife lose 30 pounds on that. My business partner lost 30 pounds, and I always had trouble with that. And what intermittent fasting is basically only eating between a certain feeding period. So in my case, I do 12 to 8, 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. And then from 8 to 12, which is a 16-hour cycle, I don't eat. And so when my body starts to want food,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't give it to it, it has to reach into my stored fat and burn the stored fat. And
Right.
so in that eating type, you still can use my product because it's a really good product to come off your fast. Eat something small that doesn't, make you fall asleep right after you've been fasting, and
Yes.
then have a normal meal at some time in between that 12 and 8 period. And so that's been something I've gone to. The pounds are melting, and you don't have to change everything about how you're eating immediately to do that. So I'm a big intermittent fasting proponent at this point, but our product was initially, put together to just replace high calorie, high sugar breakfasts.
Right. And I mean, unfortunately, especially if you are just, you don't have time to cook breakfast, that's an excellent way to get, some type of nutrients, into your system so that you can get your day going. So
Exactly.
I totally agree. And I just want to throw out some statistics here real quick. And, for those of you who want to fact check me, I'm going to tell you where I got, the information. So CDC, which is the Centers for Disease Control, just to go to the point about diet and, underlying health issues, the CDC says that African Americans are living longer. Over the past 17 years, the death rate has declined about 25% for those 65 and older. But new data shows that younger African Americans are living with or dying of many conditions typically found in white Americans at older ages.
Oh, wow.
Right. So so we're talking about, individuals in their 20s, 30s, and 40s for diseases and causes of death.
Wow.
Right.
I think it's, the tools are out there for us now. And I think I've seen more and more of my friends, particularly during COVID, really take control of their diet. And so let me say a couple words on that.
Yes, please, because that is huge right now.
That's huge. My business partner is from the Bronx. He had, 3 people in his family die of COVID who all had diabetes.
Well,
and
I'm
so,
sorry.
The people who die of COVID, basically, most of us aren't going to die of it. I mean, it's like, on the one hand, only 4 million people are infected, and 170,000 are going to die of it or have died of it. So, still like less than 1%, even if you get it, right? But it's more than 1%. It's about 3 or 4% if you do get it, but it's less than 1% of the population by a lot, right? But it's us who are dying, right? It's us, because we're the ones if you have diabetes or heart disease or hypertension, what that means is that your immune system is compromised. And so when your immune system is compromised and you get COVID attacks the immune system as the first thing that it does. So if your immune system is weak, you're going to get hit and you might die from it before you got a chance to try to work through it, in terms of new vaccines or whatever the case may be. So I think
I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, but while you're talking about the immune system, I want to make this point. And I mean, like I said, over the years, I have read a lot of information. So I'm not a physician, I'm a lawyer, but I still, consume information. So for those of you that don't know, your digestive system is the core of your immune system. So I just want to put that out there.
Absolutely. No, and I'm looking at some of the comments, so I don't want to
no, and we're gonna get to questions too.
Yeah.
So
I just want to just say that I think that there's definitely a scenario whereby if you, I think what is a fact, you know,
Uh-oh, there you go.
you know, diabetes, heart disease, or hypertension, you have what's called underlying condition. I think Dr. Fauci,
Right,
who's the Center of Infectious Disease and the czar on this, has said that multiple times. And so the good news is that you can completely reverse this, or many people can completely reverse this with their diet. And so I think that what we have to be creative about in our community is saying, hey, look, you know, it doesn't mean that we can't eat things that taste good, but we have to figure out how to bring the flavor and the seasoning and the you know, even the recipe types to
right.
foods that are either low in carbs, low in sugar. So I'll take, for example, me, because I'm not 100% plant-based, is that, you know, I started off my food journey, my weight loss journey, eating a lot of seafood omelets and sauteed veggies. And I was
Right.
able to kind of do that. And as I did that, I was like, well, how can I replace the eggs? Because you start thinking, let me get a plant-based egg. Or then how can I replace the, you know, the shrimp with something else? So it's not always like an overnight thing that people can make these big changes. But if you can ask yourself, okay, how, you know, what are my risk factors? You know, my case is simply having a big stomach. How can I just lose this stomach? And you find out that you can't just lose your stomach. You have to decrease your whole body.
Right. It would be nice, but
that
doesn't work that way.
Right. But there's different, you know, everyone's got a different case study. So it's not a one size fits all. But I just think that it's a watershed moment for us to really, really get after this while we're all sitting at home and
Right.
Or at home more than we've ever been at home. So
Been
I think
home.
it's
Yeah, because I mean, I've had friends who said that they have gained weight during this, you know, pandemic. You know, I guess I'm one of the ones who I've actually lost weight because when I get stressed, I don't eat. So yeah, so I guess the pandemic has at least, you know, done a few things, and that's one of them. I have lost weight during this pandemic, but again, it's about, I know I have to do a better job as far as, you know, what I put into my body. I know that.
And one of the things, I know you're a legal show, so one of the things I want to mention to your followers is that there's a really big focus now on traceability around your food. So I think we all need to get to be experts in knowing where the food originates from, what's in your food, and how to read a label and ensure that what's in your food, what you read in a label is actually what you're consuming, which in my industry has become, it's a really, really big issue. We're constantly being regulated around it. We're constantly testing ourselves in terms of like our label claims and what's in our products. But it's a habit that we all have to get into because we all kind of, you know, need to understand what's in the food. And so I think what you're going to find with food companies is a lot of the smarter companies are going to much simpler formulas and much simpler, like, what is in this, you know what I mean? So it's like, you know, if it has sugar in it, we're just going to say it has sugar, but hey, it has this, that, and sugar, and that's it, you know? So I think we all have to really, really get smart about, you know, the traceability and what's in food.
Absolutely. I'm glad you brought up that point. Reading labels is very, very important. I know, you know, a lot of companies, well, at least what I've been seeing on TV, are trying to promote healthier food choices as far as not having preservatives or, you know, antibiotics or, you know, GMO, you know. So, yeah, I know that that's becoming a trend, but still, you know, companies need to be transparent about what's in their food.
And let me give you two documentaries that are actually pretty fun to watch. They're both on Netflix. The first is called Forks Over Knives, and it basically is a documentary that's all about, you know, kind of what's in the food, and it kind of has a heart surgeon from the Cleveland Clinic follow this whole group of people that went plant-based, and then follow this whole study called the China study to show why did people in China over like a 50-year period, why did certain people live and why did certain people die? And actually what they found was that the consumption of meat was linked to a lot of cancers and a lot of even the richer people in China were dying faster rate than the poor people who were eating rice and beans. So I think that that's a great documentary to watch called Forks Over Knives. And then, like I said, What the Health is a great documentary to watch. And I guess the one I didn't mention is Cowspiracy. It's a little bit on the environmental side, but it basically talks about the fact that a lot of animal agriculture is what's leading to, the cancer. Like the fact that we're
Wow.
using so much of the global warming first starts with us trying to use all the different animals to make meat, and that the truth of the matter is in 30 or 40 years there won't be enough land to farm the animals to make meat to supply the population. And so that's why you're seeing a lot of really smart investors in Silicon Valley investing in plant-based companies. And the biggest one that people know is called Beyond Meat. So probably in the next 2 years down in Houston, you'll see that, Beyond Meat is in Burger King and McDonald's and all the other stuff because it's not going to be enough. We're not going to have enough meat to make the hamburgers go for it. So people are starting to look at plant-based options. Yeah.
Absolutely, especially in Texas. I mean, we are a meat-eating state. I mean,
I don't want to say too much. I don't want to get pushed off this real quick. But
I'm just saying, I'm just keeping it real. I mean, you talk about plant-based, and these Texans around here, they're gonna look at you like you're crazy. But I mean, seriously, I mean, we have got to start, eating.
It was crazy to me too. I'm not gonna sit here and lie. It was crazy when I first got to Cali and hearing people talking about eating plant-based and not eating meat. It just seemed like other world to me.
Right.
And so I think that, and you're not really open to it initially, right? But when you do look at the information objectively and honestly, and you do pay attention, and you start asking people who look like they're in great shape, what are they eating, and people who really aren't having any diet issues, and you start to see that. I mean, I'll say this to your viewership: just go check out the NBA. I mean, Damian Lillard is on a plant-based diet. Kyrie Irving's on a plant-based diet. I think Jahlil Okafor is on a plant-based diet. A lot of these guys are starting to pick that up. There's another documentary called Game Changers that talks about all the different ball players and track athletes, including Carl Lewis, who's a Houstonian.
He is, yes.
who all went plant-based. And because of that, they were able to recover faster, and they were able to perform with less injury and less inflammation and soreness in their body. So,
well, I'm just going to go way, way back on that because I used to run track in junior high school and high school. And our track coach would tell us, do not eat any type of meat before a track meet. We were like, okay, whatever. So
whatever.
One time I did, right? One time I ate a burger before my race. And I'm telling you, I felt like crap. Okay? I mean, I felt like crap. I mean, my speed was down. I mean, I was all off. Hey. I didn't do it again. I tell you that.
Hey, I tell you what, you tell your viewers to go check out Game Changers. I have an uncle who, now he's a good example down in Baton Rouge. He lost about 30 pounds becoming a cyclist, starting to do 50 and 100-mile bike rides every other day, I just got into that myself. So he lost a lot of weight, but he's having trouble losing that last 10 pounds that he wants. I think, man, you might need to change your diet, And so he looked at that Netflix special Game Changers, and he was like, man, I'm done. I'm going vegan. You know what I'm saying? So of course, of course, vegan for him was vegan, but I'm still gonna eat shrimp. So I was like, all right.
Like, okay. Well, one step at a time. One step at a time. So let's get in some viewer questions. So one of my other HU sisters, Lynn, I actually had Lynn on last week. She's my marketing guru with Bragology. She said, I understand the science, but it's the discipline. So yeah, you have to be disciplined.
Oh, there's no question about it. So I'm here to report that I'm down 28 pounds pre and post COVID. I mean, starting in March, and I did learn that, it's just eighth grade math in terms of, eating less sugar, working out, doing 2-a-days like you did playing football back in the day. And
Right.
and for me, it was intermittent fasting. So it was like the fact that, being able to eat and discipline yourself to eat in a window, and you recognize that, okay, that is going to be 80% of the weight loss is just the eating change, right? But
Absolutely.
the athletic side of it for me in particular is like, I'm a 47-year-old guy. I used to play football, used to play basketball, bad knees. It's like, hey, getting on a bike allowed me to put in that 30 to 40-minute workout without stopping, which is critical to
Yeah.
be able to sustain the good eating. And, you're going to have some cheat meals. You're going to do some things. Yeah, and as a matter of fact, I think you should plan to do those things. Like say, hey,
Right.
a couple times a week, I know I'm going to eat, I eat chocolate chips and almonds every single day just because I have a chocolate fixation. So,
Right.
I don't think you have to be like 1,000% disciplined. You just have to
Right.
know, okay, here are the couple of cheats I can do, in my discipline cycle. And hey, every 10 days, I'm going to eat 3 slices of pizza because I need to have something to look forward to.
Yeah,
And
I
then
mean,
over
we're not
time,
talking
you'll
about
start to
total
feel good.
deprivation here, everyone. I mean, we're human, let's just be realistic, but we're just saying the majority of our diet really, really needs to be focused on, healthy, foods, nutrients, plant-based, basically. I totally agree with you.
And I will say the one thing I'll say about plants too is like, in our culture, we have so many good vegetable dishes that we already eat at Thanksgiving that we already do. So
Yeah.
I encourage people to just kind of pick your 2 or 3 things you love that are low carb. So for me, it was like I like broccoli, and turns out I like broccoli sauteed with garlic and hot sauce on it. So I was like, man, I could eat this
You
all
gotta put
day
that
long.
hot sauce, you gotta put
You
that
know what I'm saying?
Louisiana in there.
So the stir fry, a lot of people are gonna like their greens. They're gonna like, they're gonna like cabbage, things that they've already had.
Right.
So I just encourage people to just find 2 or 3 things you already like. For me, I love fajitas. It's another
Me
great one
too.
without the bread. If you could
Yep.
figure out a chicken fajita or a steak fajita or whatever to get you started, and over time you'll pull out the meat, or you put shrimp in it instead, and then at some point you pull that out and go all plant-based. But it's like you can at least get the sugar out of it by not eating the bread, but you still can eat something that tastes good to you, and you get started that way.
Right.
And discipline around something that tastes good. So
that makes sense.
but I see something about the intermittent fasting.
Yeah,
I
my
tell
sister
people,
Renee, hello, thank you. She said, do you suggest a given time frame for intermittent fasting?
I'm gonna say 12. My favorite is 12 to 8 because 12. Don't eat till 12 p.m. noon, and don't eat anything after 8 at night. And so I think what that does is that allows you to eat during the day and be normal and do normal stuff, and probably your sleep most of that time. Hopefully 10:30 to 6 or whatever it is, and if you can wake up and work out immediately.
Yep.
You spend that stretch to noon is really is all about kind of water, and you can drink some coffee to get you there. So if you can kind of keep it to that and just make it to noon every day, you'll find that's I think for a lot of people that's very doable.
Yeah, and that's what I do. I mean, unfortunately, it's not intentional, but I'm usually not eating any food until at least 12 o'clock in the afternoon, which.
I think it's a good thing.
It's
something we were never taught. I was never taught to not eat till noon, right?
Right.
But I'm telling you, people will find that before you even lose weight, the mental clarity and the how it basically will make your sleep you'll sleep so much sounder, and you'll wake up like ready to roll, and you have so much more energy, and you probably don't even realize you don't have the energy that people who eat clean do. And I know I didn't. I'd always felt like, whatever, man. Like, I play ball, I do this, I do that. Like, but when you get older and you have more on top of you, and you start to really eat clean, and you start to have like only need 5 hours of sleep, and you got 19 hours of like of awake time, and you're awake to do stuff. It's
Right.
like you can keep up with your kids, you can do your business stuff, you can do everything.
Yeah. It
Yeah,
makes a difference.
yeah, it does.
And you know, I'm just gonna just take a couple of, or just do some shout outs and some
Yeah,
questions. So
let's do it.
Natalie, your sister, my
Hey,
girl,
hey, hey.
and she said at
That
least maybe the
sounds.
Texas meat should be grass fed. Yeah, yeah, that's true. I think it is.
I
I know
think
I
that's
saw a
right.
couple of questions about, is Vegan Smart available at CVS?
It is, but we're actually exiting CVS. It wasn't a great account for us in terms of, they're somewhat of a difficult retailer for small businesses. Or at least for our small business, because there's not a lot of people shopping for protein powders in CVS. So what we've done is we moved all of our products onto Amazon, and
Okay.
so that's the easiest place and the cheapest place to find us. But we're going into Costco with a Naturade product, online in October 2nd, and then January 1st we'll be in Costco in the stores, 40 of the 500 stores, January 1. We'll also be in Target, 550 stores, starting September 13th. So look for us
That's
there
good.
as well.
That's good stuff. And both of these companies are minority owned, everyone. So
Absolutely.
please support Black business. That's another, aspect of my platform is, Black businesses supporting each other. So
That's
I just want to
critical.
throw that
I
out.
mean, when you talk about the money disparity, I think everyone knows in the Jewish community, Asian community, a dollar turns is spent from one vendor to another 8 times before it leaves that community. And in our community, it's less than 1. So, some of these
Wow.
systemic problems that we want to solve, we have to figure out how to just do some of the basic things that other cultures are doing,
Yep.
and buying Black and making it turn in our community like more times, puts more money in all of our pockets. So we got to love each
Absolutely.
other enough to do that.
Absolutely. And I'm sorry if I mess up your name. Kanam Golik says hello from Detroit. I'm using Vegan Smart products. Love it.
Hey, we love you. Thank you. That's love from the D. My parents met in Detroit, so I got love from
Hey.
Detroit. Yeah.
The D. I'm trying to just
D.
go back and see if we have any other questions. Let's see. Somebody asked about CVS. Yeah, well, she said the same thing. So, I was trying to see if we had any other questions. So, Claude, tell us last thoughts. Are you guys coming out with any other products? Because we have about 5 more minutes left.
Okay. Let me show you. Yes. This is the product going into Costco. It's a Naturade weight loss product.
All
It
right.
has Garcinia cambogia as well as chromate, both fantastic for diabetics and pre-diabetics. And so the Garcinia cambogia is an appetite suppressant, so keep you hungry. You won't get hungry as quickly. And chromate has chromium in it. It's really good for diabetics as well. So that's what you're going to see in the Costco. It's going to be on the floor. It's going to be in a new black bag. It'll say Naturade, but at the top it'll say from the makers of Vegan Smart, so it's us. And you'll see a lot of promotion from Magic Johnson. He's basically going to team with Costco to take all the proceeds from Costco side and donate to inner city education. So
that's awesome. I know Magic Johnson is very big as far as business and implementing businesses in the African American community, especially in low income areas. So big shout out to Magic Johnson. And you couldn't have a better person backing you all on that.
We're trying to learn from Magic. I mean, he's been very successful. He was in my opinion, he doesn't get the credit he deserves in terms of bringing corporate America to urban America. And bigger than that, he was the first person to get pension funds to invest in inner city deals. So he's really just been amazing. People don't even realize how much he's done on the business side to support our community. So, but people do know he was very successful with Starbucks. And I think that kind of really was the second or third.
And his movie theaters. Yeah.
And his movie theaters, 24-hour fitness, Fridays, and he did a lot of, and then Starbucks, all the franchises, he did an amazing job. So we got a
Yeah,
lot of magic.
that is
He's
good
actually a
stuff. So,
part owner in our company now. So
okay, well,
yeah,
that is good stuff. I am so proud of you, Claude. I am,
pushing. We're pushing. We're pushing.
like I
It
said,
ain't easy.
I remember hanging out with you at 5401 Chimney Rock. That's
All right, we're trying to get it in. I'll even tell you this is that like our company mission to close on this is a Tupac quote, which is let's change the way we eat, let's change the
right.
way we live, and let's change the way we treat each other. So,
Right, absolutely. And that's what it's
we got
about,
to do.
It's about, just spreading knowledge and love and, us supporting one another. I mean, we need that now more so than ever before. So, like I said, whatever I can do, to try to bring awareness and support, my friends and family, that's exactly what I'm going to do. And I'm just going to give a couple more shout outs to those who have joined in with us. I know I saw Derek Muhammad on here. He's a good friend of mine. What's up, Derek? The real LBG 450 turned in. Big Richito, Belizean, Curvaceous Hips. Yeah, we have a whole bunch. If I can't get to you, I'm sorry. Live, love me, _P9. I am Aurora G. That's my girl, my sister teammate. I see my cousin, Linda, out in Portland. Hello, Goddess Love, Ebony 1978. And I'm sorry if I didn't get to you. I'm sorry, because we got 2 minutes left. So Claude,
Okay.
I know I put the information regarding the website information into the description on our promo, but can you tell our viewers, give that information to them again about where they can do more research on your company?
Absolutely. We'd love you to just go to Amazon and just type in VeganSmart and we'll pop up and you can look at all of our products and choose one that you like and try us out. We're, our website is www.naturade.com as well as www.livevegansmart.com. And we have Instagram handles for both. So check us out. But if you don't remember anything else, just go to Amazon and type in VeganSmart and try us. We have really good ratings on our products. Over 2,200 people have reviewed us and given us a 4.3 star rating out of 5, which gives us the best ratings of plant-based products in our category. So we think we're putting up numbers, and we hope you'll try us out and hope that you enjoy us and lose some weight. That's what we're here for.
Well, I am definitely going to be purchasing those products myself because, like I said, it's time. It's time. It's been time.
Let's all do it. We got to do it together. It's not easy, but we can do it.
It's like we all want to be around. Like I said, you all please check out the information on the CDC website. It's cdc.gov. Also check out the American Cancer Society website. It also gives information about how diet and cancer are linked together as well. There's a correlation between that and yeah, we've got to make changes, you all. I mean, I want all of us to be around, and like I said, we're dying way too young. And if, some of these diseases can be prevented, let's just do it. Let's do it. So Claude, I am so thankful that you were able to join us today. Thank you for sharing your knowledge. Thank you for what you're doing, as far as your business, as far as, wanting to help the African-American community, minorities, make, healthier eating choices available to us.
Let's do it. I appreciate you having me and love to come back when we start to really launch some of these things in the next month or so. Love to come back.
Absolutely. You are welcome back anytime. So yeah, just hit me up. Let me know, when they're going to go out, and we'll get you back on, and we're going to have another discussion about those.
All right, let's get it. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. So to all of my viewers for Sunday Sessions, I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope this information is helpful. I pray that everybody stay safe, stay healthy, stay blessed. And, just type a comment, shoot me a DM about other topics of interest that you all might want to hear about. And be sure to support Naturade and VeganSmart and this awesome group of young Black men who, came together to, help us live a healthier lifestyle. So Claude, thank you so much again. Pray that you and your family are well and staying blessed.
Thank you so much.
All right, we will talk
All right.
soon.
All right.
Bye,
Y'all take
guys.
care.
Come back
Bye-bye.
next week. We have another episode coming next Sunday. Bye, y'all. Bye, Claude.
Bye-bye.